Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to FPL, don't panic. Oh, shite! That's all I can say. Oh, oh. I know a lot of you in the same boat. I know how you're feeling this morning. A little bit sad, a little bit beaten up. How the fuck did that happen? Oh, God, we live to fight another day. Let's try and make some sense of it all. 37 points off what I projected, 64. Oh, bad spreadsheet, bad spreadsheet. But I feel a little bit like the prophet of doom, I think, as we went into the game week, and I locked my team in. I said, I commented that numbers spreadsheet been extraordinarily accurate the last 4 or 5 game weeks. Been a nice steady rank rise, hitting that lovely average of 70, 71. Spreadsheet showed me a ceiling of well into the 80s, but a floor of 47, I think it was. Well, we fell well below the bloody floor, didn't we? But I did say, prophet of doom, Des, numbers can go off a cliff any time in this game. You just don't know. It is so hard to predict. And you've only got to look at the top of the Premiership table at the moment to go, what the hell is going on? Sunderland up there, Bournemouth up there, Man United up there, which I'm very happy about, by the way. I mean, it was a happy, sad weekend in that respect, Good to see the United attack finally starting to function and get the goals that their expected goals said they should be getting. So maybe should have got on a little bit earlier. Well, I did look at it 2 or 3 game weeks ago, didn't I? Thinking, oh, Mbumo, I should say. Mbumo. No, just on that. Mbumo. It is Mbumo. Just weirdly came up in my newsfeed this morning, him saying the proper way to pronounce his name. Because I've always been going Mbumo. I've heard football commentators going Mbumo. It is Mbumo. Anyway, I digress. Fuck. So where do I begin with this? Okay, let's talk this through. I do have some thoughts. It's a very difficult game this year. A very, very difficult game indeed. That's hard to predict. DEFCON obviously has an impact. Defenders are the highest scoring ones, in terms of the haulers. But who are the right ones, and how do you pick the right ones? And I have an answer to that question for you. I'll go through that in a second. Just after I'm not going to labour on my own team. It's just too feckin' depressing. It really is. I did not see that coming. I really didn't. The fixtures were good. What have I dropped? I've dropped. When we went into the little video I did yesterday, I had dropped by about 50,000. And at the end of the early kickoffs, and I thought, oh, geez, okay, it is what it is. I did not expect that to drop another 150,000 across that Everton match. I just had Tarkowski in there. Van de bloody Ven, you bastard. What can you say? Average points of 46. I mean, I didn't even hit the average points. It's 37 points, and I know there's some worse than me. And it seems to be a lot in that sort of in that 40 to 50. I mean, it was just an unmitigated disaster. The thing is, it feels crazy to say it. It could have been worse. Petrovic is my hero of the week, to be honest with you. One of those saves he pulled off, absolutely amazing, and to at least get the clean sheet there. It's an easy 5-pointer. Timber, thank God I did actually bring in Timber, I guess, and moved Van Dijk out. But other than that, no, I don't want to talk about it. It's too bloody depressing. What are my thoughts? What are my thoughts? I've scribbled a few notes. Okay, I'm just gonna do this. I'm just gonna show you something. As I do tend to analyze these things and think about how do we pick the right players when it is so volatile. And my answer is, don't think you can. Don't think you actually can, to a degree, to try and find that bloody, the road on the Van der Ven. It's so hard to say who's going to do it because there is actually no consistency with it. There really isn't. And just to sort of illustrate that point, I'm going to take you through the team of the week. This comes up okay. I'm just going to go just go through this week by week just for a second. So I just need some more wear those glasses. Bear with me. Oh, I can see. Okay, just ignore the midfield and whatever, but we can see Mbemo, Casemiro. I mean, Casemiro, come on, Casemiro, seriously. Tavernier, Eze returned, obviously, but just going to focus in on the defence because you'll see the pattern emerge that the team of the week is frequently made up with back fours and back fives. Van der Ven, Cash, Rodon, Pedro Porro, all from 23 down to 11s, all big scores, fantastic. Right, we all want them in our team, of course we do. Week before, back five, James, Mukiele, Shemepong, Walker, Gabriel. Probably the only consistent thing you'll see. I think he comes up again. Back four again, Gavardio, Timber, Byrne, Van Heck, Gabriel, Alderete, Matthias, Bueno. Just a back three this time, but big scores. Maguire, Cash, Nico Williams. Cash twice. Okay. Van der Ven, Romero, Mukiele, Anderson, Guehi, Sinisi, Chalaba, Lacroix, whose numbers are falling off a cliff. That's his one moment of glory. Timber, Calafiori, Diakite, Ballard, Calafiori, Lewis. The only really consistent thing in there is that bloody Arsenal back two. There's one or two others that maybe appeal once or twice, but by and large, you just don't know who is going to come through with those points. You just really don't. So what is the answer? There isn't one. There actually isn't one other than I do think you kind of do need to cover off the Arsenal defence. I haven't got it covered off, and it has hurt. Just flicking through that again. Oh. Come back. What's going on there? Sorry guys, lost my entire screen. What's happened? Sorry guys, some nuisance. Yeah, so that's obviously part of the problem. You, to a large degree, you can't predict which of these defenders are going to come in. Can we make calculated guesses? Maybe. Set pieces are obviously playing a huge, massive huge part this year. I think, who are good at the set pieces? Arsenal, Brentford. Carrying on, obviously, from Thomas Frank, and now Thomas Frank's bringing that into Spurs. Sunderland. yeah, it's bloody tricky, and I'm going to be putting a little bit of thought into it. The other thing I think as well, as we look to try and work out this puzzle, I think I'm going to be taking a close look at in the next couple of weeks. Will be home and away form. Now I've got a little table down there, which I'll a couple of tables I'll have a look at in a second. But yeah, looking at that home and away form, there's quite a difference sometimes. You know, Sunderland home, fantastic. They're just not conceding. I think it's clearly the place where we need to find our 4.1, 4.2s, and to a degree, maybe yeah, just invest in Spurs. For myself, I will be doing a little bit of a remodel over the coming weeks. Spoiler alert, I have done my 2 transfers already. I had 2 glaring problems in my team, and those namely being João Pedro, should have got rid of him weeks ago, and Foden. But I try to follow my model as best I can, and you have to give players a chance. And my model is, if when I bring a player in, they get their 4 or 5 games. Hopefully they're returning for me in those, and they're hitting the averages that I want. But they've got to be given a chance, because you have to show that level of patience, and that's maybe one of the things I have to think about as well. My defence started off really, really well, and absolutely comfortably. I mean, you guys saw it when with my projections each week, and we were playing a little bit of a guessing game as to what my defence would bring in each week, and consistently there for a few weeks, whether I went back 4 or back 3, they were hitting some very, very good numbers. I wasn't largely apart. I think from Burn. I did get I caught the Burn and the Lacroix ones. They weren't massive 20 pointers, but they were 10, 11 pointers. But it had been actually consistent. The numbers across them, whichever combination of the 5 I played, were hitting very, very nice numbers. It's falling off a little bit of a cliff. Happily, I did at least catch a couple of clean sheets this game week. Otherwise, oh my god, I dread to think. But I have done 2 transfers out because they have fallen off the cliff. João Pedro and Foden. Foden never really climbed the cliff for me. I took him in as a punt. The fixtures looked okay. He looked as though he was starting to hit a run of form, and it just hasn't happened. It hasn't happened in a big way. So I have done 2 transfers. I have gone early. I think a lot of people are going to be going early with transfers this week. That sort of seems to be the feeling, because there's going to be a lot of volatility in prices, and there certainly will be, I think, with I already know just looking at the projected price rises with the 2 players I brought in. The 2 glaring problems: Foden and João Pedro. Numbers fall off a cliff. No returns in the last 5. João Pedro not even taking any fecking shots. Apparently not been well. Oh no, sorry, what am I talking about? No, I'm thinking of Saka. Saka got subbed early, which worried me, but apparently he wasn't well. But yeah, Foden, João Pedro, they are gone. We'll have a quick look at what I have done. What is my thing doing to me today? Okay. Alright, no surprises. Hopefully that's nice and clear for you guys. I'm already having a little bit of buyer's remorse, but I had to move quickly or I was going to get priced out. But I have brought in Mbumo. I've been talking about that for a few weeks now. I've been toying, obviously, for that Foden slot. The players I've been thinking about: Rice, Sarr, Enzo. So there are a few candidates for that spot. I have gone with Mbumo. As I said a week ago, he's right at that point at the end of that United attack. He just does look fantastic. Why didn't I bring him in a couple of weeks ago when I first spoke about it? And it was because of the Liverpool fixture. And of course he scored in that. And why didn't I do him this week? I didn't do him because I had some other issues that needed fixing. Namely getting an Arsenal defender in. Hindsight. This game is just full of hindsight, isn't it? I've got him now. We'll see, he'll dry up now, but he does look really good. I mean, he just looks fantastic. He's starting to. He's going to become talismanic. He's already getting there for my money. You know, Bruno or Mbumo. I've gone Mbumo. I don't think there's going to be much between them in terms of overall points. Obviously, it does look like Bruno's still on penalties. But the other driver, of course, was Price. So it's Mbumo in, and the other one, Walter Meade. A little bit of a fixture play there. Maybe I can recoup some of the ground I've lost by just going for a straight fixture play here, by bringing in Walter Meade, who has come in for João Pedro. There are some good fixtures there for Newcastle. Some concerns with Europe and fatigue. I thought they struggled to get home against Fulham. They've got some good fixtures, but some of them are away from home. I'm having a little regret already, because that has it. I've got 0 in the bank. Now that's 0, literally 0 in the bank. Nothing, nada. And I'm just wondering, would Thiago just have been a good option? And then I would have had some money in the bank to immediately fix some of the other issues as I see them, as I have to rebuild again. You know, I've dropped. I'm just inside the top 500,000, I think now. You know, so it's a pisser of a rank drop. It really is, because I was just chugging along, nice and steady. But it's fallen off the proverbial cliff, and there are issues within the team that I still think I need to sort out. But that's the bus team as it goes out. Petrovic, great. I don't see a goalkeeping clean sheet. However, football's a funny old game. Certainly, if they can keep it down to you know, below 2 or 3, I can see him making half a dozen saves in that game. So he might come away with a 3 or 4 pointer. Could go Dubravka, Arsenal away. Pick your poison. Pick your poison. I'm going to go Petrovic, namely based on when you see the spreadsheet. His averages now are back up to above 4, which I like to see for a keeper. Interestingly, between the Petrovic and Dubravka rotations, as I've done them, their averages are actually starting to get close to a 6. Because I obviously had the Dubravka numbers last week. I've got Petrovic's this week, but they've actually been going really, really well as a rotating combo, and just picking up some. When they get the clean sheet, there's usually a save point or 2 in there as well. So been actually very, very happy with them. Burn, decent fixture. West Ham look shocking. Timber, yeah, would hope for a clean sheet there. And Lacroix, he's moving into the last chance saloon. By the way, I'll talk about that when I get into the spreadsheet and potential transfer plans going forward. What needs to be done? Semenyo. Have a look in the spreadsheet. His average is still good, but over the last 5, you'll see that the returns, actual attacking returns, are not actually that amazing. Obviously, there was the blank this weekend. One of his returns in the last 5 game weeks was actually made up of DEFCON. So yeah, I still think he's a fantastic player. Bournemouth do look good. We'll see. Caicedo, I would like to turn him into Enzo, but you know, he's there. You know, he was chugging towards a DEFCON, but it all sort of seemed to go bad for Chelsea in that second half. And as I say, he's in there to get me a 4 or 5 point average, and he was getting a few shots off and an early assist. So no major concerns there. And but Tottenham are playing not well, but they're organised, aren't they? They're really well organised. Big set piece threat. Saka, Burnley away. I hope I've made the right choice there. As I say, I do believe in this Saka 6-7 point average that he should be achieving, and of course he came off 30 minutes early in this game week. So yeah, and then Mbeumo, Forest away, still conceding. He will get them organised though. He will get them organised, and it won't take him long. But I do believe Mbeumo is going to get a chance. Mbeumo is going to get a chance or 2 in every game he plays, and I think his confidence is. When he came off that pitch, he looked like a man. ready for business. He was like, yeah, I am the man. And I like that. So United have needed that sort of thing. And wasn't Cunha fantastic? Wasn't Cunha absolutely fantastic? Is there anything to be said for a double United attack? Their expected goals is really high. But we'll have a little look at the home and away fixture form guide that I'll show you shortly. Away for home going good, I think. Goals are there, not so much away from home, but maybe that will grow over the coming weeks. There are decent fixtures there, and as I say, once that confidence starts to go and they get a bit of belief, double United attack. Not sure, because the other one I'm still wrestling with is double Arsenal defence or double Arsenal attack, because it wouldn't be too difficult for me to get Caicedo up to an Eze, I suppose. That's the story, because I've used 2 transfers. I've taken a hit of strategic worsening of points just to get him, just to get João Pedro out and Mbeumo in. So no more transfers this week, and in my ideal world I would like to roll next week. But by 12 I certainly need to have, I think, another Arsenal asset in there. It's whether it would be a defender or an attacker. And given the Arsenal fixtures, are defenders likely to be getting much more than 6? Well, Gabriel is. Hit the post. I actually thought he had the assist yesterday for the Eze goal, but apparently it was Sarr that nodded it back. I didn't see the replay, so yeah. But by my first sight, that's what it looked like to me. But it's weirdly, even though the ball went in and then was headed back out because there was only one touch, Rice got the assist. Rice's numbers are extraordinarily consistent. It's a good price, could get to him very easily. Turn Caicedo into Rice. Don't know. It's kind of a like for like in a way, except obviously with Rice on those set pieces and how deadly Arsenal are from those set pieces. Might be the right investment. 2 game weeks before I make that decision. 1-2, yeah. And Walter Meade, good fixture. Mateta, yeah. Let's see that expected goal. Give me another hat trick. I really need it at the moment. And obviously he's getting bought hand over fist at the moment. I don't think his ownership should still be low enough, I think, to have a big impact this next game week if he returns. And of course, Haaland with Bournemouth at home. Yeah. It's not the greatest in terms of some of those fixtures, and Semenyo away to City. Should I take Tarkowski off the bench and go with the back 4? Oh, I'm not really trusting that Everton defence at all at the moment. And Sunderland, they are really good at home. They are very, very good at home. Right, okay, so that's the bus team. It is what it is. If I sound a little bit dubious about how well it will do, well, who could blame me after the game week I've just had, where it is really, a good chunk of the same players that didn't do it for me this game week just gone. Right, sorry, I got so many screens open this time around. Let's have a little look at it as it appears in the spreadsheet. Right, hopefully that's nice and clear for you lot. So with having to make the changes and things like that, the spreadsheet has gone wobbly. I've now got 1, 2, 3. I've only got 2 weeks now, sort of, for that team, with so many of the numbers dropping. Showing decent sized numbers. And I've got 1, 2, 3. The 43 game week 5 for that team, 50 in 6. And 9 in 51 and 51 in 9. So this fills me with a little bit of dread going into game week 10. We look at the averages. Okay, Petrovic fine. We just have to take this City fixture on the chin, and who knows what might happen. You know, but I've obviously got a goalkeeper going against who will likely Haaland will be my captain, I should think. You know, so we've got the clash there, but that's unavoidable sometimes. Timber, given the way Arsenal are going, you can't take anything for granted. Of course you can't. But you'd have to think that the clean sheet it's there for Timber. Lacroix, Brentford home. Brentford attack is good. Not overly confident there. Hopefully we get the DEFCON. He was my only player. DEFCON duds I had this week, apart from Lacroix. He did actually get his DEFCON. Shame I didn't put him in, but it was never going to happen. He was always going to sit third on my bench for that particular fixture. Burn, yeah, just the 2, and as we can see there now, Burn's down to, you know, returning in 2 of the last 5, so his average has now fallen to 4.8. Saka, you know, I've only had him, you know, a few game weeks now, but hopefully that fixture he can sort of, you know, start to fly again and start to get some returns. Caicedo, yeah, looking at the 4.4 average. If he hits that, I'll be happy. Semenyo City away. Is he going to get an attacking return? Well, he needs to. What do we got there? It's just in game week 6 and 7, I think. Oh, maybe that was the assist in 5. No, that was the DEFCON one was in 5. That was the assist last week, wasn't it, in 8? It's not overly fantastic, in all honesty, even though he's shown the 7.4 average. And clearly that's going to... Well, not clearly, of course he could get an attacking return at Semenyo. But it is City away, Villa away. You know, Villa... You know, I have it there as a blue fixture, but maybe that should start to turn into a red fixture at their home ground. But then there are some great fixtures for Semenyo after that. West Ham, Sunderland, Everton at home. So let's see how that goes. Listen, I'm here trying to make predictions. The fuck do you make predictions in this league at the moment? Look at the results. You can't predict this at the moment. All I can do is put the numbers in there. Looks like it's going to give me a 62, excluding captain 3, if I get a clean game week. I did not have a clean game week this week, but I don't think even having a clean game week would have made, but you know, I had quite a few bookings, 2 or 3 bookings, early subs for Saka, but I'm clutching at straws there. It was still always going to be a disaster, wasn't it? But I guess what I hope is averages play out over a number of games, not just in one game week. So hopefully I can get the swing back this coming game week. Obviously Walter Media there, game against West Ham. Newcastle obviously much better at home than away, but it's West Ham. The crap. Got Mateta there, currently with a 5.8 average. Obviously very much driven by his finding his form in the last game week, and obviously there was a return in game week 5, but he has had the expected goals for weeks now. Brentford home, Brighton home, Wolves away, Man United home, Burnley away, Fulham away. Buy him, guys. Just buy him, because he could go large. He's going to get some returns. It's just whether it's woo or oh yeah, it's all right. And then yeah, Walter Media. I mean, I like him. I kind of wish now that I had. I just felt I had to, because I was going to get priced out, and then I thought about it and thought, oh, Thiago would have actually been pretty good on penalties, pointy end of that Brentford attack, and looking pretty decent, and could just be there, go on the bench, wouldn't worry about putting him on the bench, but it would just free up some money, because then next week I could have gone straight to turn Lacroix, who I've got in red there, whose numbers have dropped to 2.8, could very easily turn Lacroix into Munoz. Now, who doesn't want to have Munoz across Brentford home, Brighton home, Wolves away, Man United home, Burnley away, Fulham away? So he's highlighted there as one I want to replace, want to get those averages up, and just have a better option. I mean, I'd be better off, you know, using the Lacroix money and going down to a Richards or something like that, because I do want a piece of that. Just Lacroix doesn't seem to be the right choice Now that could all change. Maybe Lacroix is the one that gets on the end of 2 set pieces and brings me in a 20-pointer against Brentford. And that is, again, as I say, what I talk about. We don't know. And maybe that is the name of the game, patience. But how patient can you be when the numbers are falling off a cliff? So the other one would be, it's like, how do I get the money to do some of the things I need to do? And it's a little bit tricky. It feels to me as though I do need to, at the moment, my opinion on this could change after game week 10, feels to me, like my midfield's not too bad. I think my strikers are pretty good. Some tricky fixtures, but if I've done a few transfers by 12, hopefully I can turn, because 12 and 13, there's quite a few little red fixtures sort of creeping in there, but hopefully the right transfers in means I've got some better fixtures there to go at. And I guess the question is for me, do I mess around with this defense, or do I just stay patient and get a little bit of money out, say from Tarkowski, 5.5 million, not doing the business, down to 2.6 now. Everton's defense just is poor. It's poor. I'm very, very surprised. But the Everton defense is not going great, and I could turn Tarkowski, maybe bring in that Sunderland 4.1, 4.2 defender. That frees up nearly £1.5 million, where I could even potentially address 2 things. I could maybe, I think that'll be enough there. Lacroix could go to Munoz, and then somehow maybe I could get maybe Caicedo up to Rice. Or do I just actually take out that money from Tarkowski and turn Lacroix and Burn? Yeah, I think that'd be almost enough. Work it out. Haven't done the exact maths because it's a week or 2 away. Into Gabriel and Munoz. And all of a sudden I've got Timber, Gabriel and Munoz as my main 3 defenders, and a couple of really good, depending on whether I need to sell 2 of them, Tarkowski and Sinisi. Don't really want to sell Sinisi though, but maybe can I from Tarkowski get enough dough together and turn Lacroix and Burn into Gabriel and Munoz. Not sure. I have to do the maths on this, and I'm not really going to think about it too much this week because my transfers are done. And as you saw last week, I wrestled with transfer decisions all bloody week. Listen, that's what the spreadsheet says. I've lost faith in this after last week's performance, but it had been very, very consistent for the weeks before that. So at the moment, the spreadsheet says I'm going to do 62 points. And after the game week that's just gone, I really do need a steadying of the Desi ship before it sinks. So that's that. Just going to finish up. Again, it's just further food for thought, maybe as you guys are sort of looking at your own transfer decisions and things. So yeah, we'll get that out there. Just home and away form. See if I can make this. Maybe it's something we think about when we do think about the transfers that we're doing. Maybe make some sense out of these crazy scores and how our teams are made up. Not sure. Just a sort of an FYI type thing, really. Where did it go? Must have closed it down. Okay, I'll have to get the glasses on again. I'm going to have to lean into this. Home table, Arsenal, obviously, no major surprises there. And yeah, goals for good at home, and Manchester City's the other one on the home form. Well, that's the Haaland effect, obviously. But it's looking at Bournemouth, Newcastle, Sunderland, Brentford. Wish I bought the Iago. Wish I do. That would have. But anyway, that's it. I acted in haste. Villa, home form improving, but not huge on the goals though. When we're playing our home teams and we're playing our attackers, we're looking for goals, aren't we? We're looking for goals, and that to me is starting to read rather surprisingly United, very surprisingly. Yeah, Bournemouth's not incredible. It's just obviously getting the results, aren't they? And Arsenal. And that leaves me with these fixtures, obviously, which Arsenal have got. Is it go the back against that Arsenal defence? But supposing it is Gabriel that's getting the bloody goals. But yes, Sunderland definitely. I mean, it's staring you in the face there, isn't it? Just bring in one of those cheap Sunderland defenders, and there are some good options there. And free up some money and get Tarkowski out. That sort of confirms it for me. And even if you're playing them on some sort of rotation just for those home fixtures, it just makes absolute sense. On the away side, Spurs. Let's look at that. It are and doing better away from home. Goals for pretty good off those bloody Thomas Frank set pieces. Arsenal, needless to say. Goals against for Spurs as well away from home. Spurs are down near the bloody bottom in the home table. That's interesting, isn't it? Chelsea again, defensively and attack-wise, much better. Yeah, so much better away from home. Who else? Palace. Oh God, you have these impressions in your head. You would have thought, in my head, I would have thought, Palace home, but it's away from home where they've been going very, very well. And Sunderland still, up there in that top six. Liverpool, wow. Who'd have thought we'd been seeing that? Listen, it's just there. I'm just thought I'd throw it up there. Just sort of looking at that home and away form, I think might start to become important as we look at sort of the players that we're bringing in, whether it's defence or attack. Who's going to get the bloody returns? What teams are going to get the returns? Got to get the teams right first, and then get the right player, get the talisman out of that particular team. Fairly clearly there, though, in all of the tables. Nottingham Forest still a team to target. I do think that will change. But really, if you can try somehow within your rotations and look at the fixture ticker going forward, to just have one or two players going out against Wolves and West Ham at the moment on any given week, and have the right players going out, you've got a better than average chance of a goal or a clean sheet. Hopefully both. That's it, guys. A little bit of a Desi waffle. I'm obviously very sad about the game week that's just gone, but we're going to remember this. We're not quite 36. Yeah, not even quite a quarter of a way through the season. There's a long way to go. Very, very long way to go. We've got, second half of the season. We've got, big chip season, double game weeks. There is so much to happen. Just off one game week there, just one player, I dropped 200,000 places. It was what drove it. So, what's the name of the game? Patience. Don't panic. I think as well, there will have been a certain amount of managers who will have Van de Ven, but he'd blanked for 3 or 4 game weeks in a row. A lot of engaged managers would probably have sold him or benched him, and there will have been a lot of semi-casual and casual that their team's just rolling, and when there was the buying frenzy on him at the beginning of the season, will have bought them, and their teams will have still been ticking along okay because it's just been so random, and all of a sudden they've got these 20 pointers. So that's going to have driven a lot of this. So a lot of those people just fall away naturally over the course of the season. And of course the engaged managers that did keep him and were properly knew what they were doing, well bloody done. I mean, seriously, well done. And it is that patience thing. So yeah, it's a question sometimes, yeah, of being patient, but really realizing that this is a game of luck, and all we're trying to do is create the circumstances for us to be lucky more often than not. But we ain't going to be lucky every time. I do think back four is the way to go. I do think that is where the points are, and then sourcing those DEFCON monsters to get those steady 4-5 pointers, and more than if you are lucky enough that they do get an attacking return and the clean sheet, etc. The other big one, actually, and in some of these game weeks as well, I only started to play this game about 3 or 4 seasons ago. At that time, when I first started playing it, and I was just messing around, and about halfway through the season, because I'd been messing around, I had built up a big bucket load of money because I wasn't playing it very seriously. And then I suddenly realized, I can buy all the premiums because I just had so much money, and I had an incredible second half of the season. How many premiums do we really have at the moment returning? 1. Haaland. And if he doesn't return, and he's our captain's pick, that's obviously going to have a big impact on all our scores. But at the moment, no Palmer. Saka, not quite there yet. Isak, definitely not there yet. We don't have a Trippier, who was like returning points hand over fist. There's, 3 years ago there was like 6 or 7 premiums. There's really only one we can rely on at the moment. Salah's obviously the one. It's not happening for him. So that is obviously, I think, having a massive impact on the game this year. I mean, even last year, it had dropped massively, down to Haaland when he was in form at the beginning. Salah, obviously. Palmer had his moments. Isak obviously had his moments. When he got on a great run, a superb run for me, he was bringing me in massive points. We got Haaland this year. So again, when there is a difficult game week for Haaland, there is, where do you go with your captaincy choices? It is a tricky game this year. It is a trickier game this year. So, how do we do better? I don't know, but we're going to try, and I'm going to leave it at that, because that really was a long, crazy, Desi waffle. I'll be back. Give us a day. I'll come back with the Bishop Brennan Cup. Couple of you managed to hit the 70 pointers. One has actually had just such a good game week and showing incredible consistency. Yeah, going to be interesting to take a look at your team, and it is the Bishop Brennan Cup winner. So I'll probably be back tomorrow to take you guys through that. In the meantime, I'm going to have a cup of tea and lick my wounds and think about brighter tomorrow. Take care. Have fun. Play your own game. Do not panic. I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.